Dude, why didn't you guys tell me that 50 Shades of Grey is actually secretly on the lowdown, on the dip, on the dizzle, a story about a schizophrenic woman falling in love with a dom? Because Anastasia Steele is schizophrenic. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, except for her bottom, which she likes to talk about quite a bit. So this chapter is interesting because 75-80% of it is a conversation between Anastasia and Christian on Wednesday, their Wednesday meeting that they've been talking about for like 2 chapters now. And they go over some of their issues, some of her issues with the contract, which he really folds easily for a dom. By the way, I don't know if... okay, any of you who have read this book, or are interested in this book, or were aroused by this book, watch the movie Secretary. Secretary is this story, but 25,000 times sexier. We've got James Spader playing Mr. Grey. His name in the film is Mr. Grey. And we've got Maggie Gyllenhaal playing his submissive secretary. It is one of the hottest movies ever made. It is literally like a giant throbbing erection for 90 minutes. Or, if you'd like to look at it from a different way, it's like the penetrating gaze of a woman attracted to you that sees you in a bar and you see her across said bar and decide that maybe this night she shall lie with you and you with her and it will all be good. You know that feeling? Like it's 90 minutes of that awesome feeling of happiness and joy of, wow, somebody likes me. That's the feeling I get from Secretary. I don't know about anybody else. So, anyway, watch that movie. It's 1,000 times better than this book. And I'm wondering if E.L. James, I'm guessing at that name, saw that movie and did Christian Grey with James Spader in mind. The problem with Anastasia is that she wants to be his sub in her thoughts that we get, because we're in her head for this entire novel, not Christian's, but hers. All of her thoughts are about how much he turns her on, how much him tying her up turned her on, how much every single little thing that he does turns her on. But then when she opens his mouth in a room with him, she loses all of it and doesn't want anything to do with it, and is petulant and childish and rude and unpleasant. So I really don't understand. And don't get me wrong, I understand that the point of Anastasia, well, maybe it's not the point, maybe E.L. James didn't even realize this, but she must. I realize the point of all of Anastasia's inner workings, you know, the constant turning over of shit over and over and over again in her head. I realize that the point of that is to eventually get her to a point where she's a sub and then isn't allowed to turn anything over in her head. I'm assuming that's the point of all this, because if it's not, then this is literally the worst book ever written. Not even no hyperbole involved. So she goes to work at the hardware store, meets Gray. She's insistent on being able to drive there. She will not allow Christian to pick her up. Insistent. They get there, they talk. Here is the worst sentence. Here, let me find it. I should have marked it. I should have marked it. Yes, I found it! Taking a deep breath and mentally girding my loins, I head into the hotel. Fuck me. Mentally girding my loins? This is your character. E.L. James, or Smith, Jones, this is the main character you're giving us. Somebody who mentally thinks, girding my loins. That's who we're dealing with for this novel. Thanks a lot. They talk. He says, yes, he will redraft, that it's for the benefit of both of them. He talks about the sexual health, and he says that he drug tests his employees and is vehemently anti-drug. Her reaction? Wow, control freakery gone mad. I blink at him shocked. I understand random drug tests are a pain in the ass or whatever, but control freakery gone mad? I don't necessarily know that that's the proper response to that. She's never eaten oysters before, of course. She tries some, and he asks if she likes it, and she goes, I'll have another, I say dryly. Like, how hard is it to just say yes, thank you, or yes, please? Because he says it all the fucking time. She's not... Dude, I am polite to a fault, I really am. Of course, some of my ex-girlfriends who might be watching this could completely disagree with that. But waiters, waitresses, any type of situation where somebody's helping you, or you're in a dinner, whatever, you talk politely, there's decorum, and I just don't like characters or people who don't know how to say please or thank you. It drives me nuts. He tells her that the no masturbation clause is because he wants all of her pleasure, and she really doesn't like that, because she thinks it's the most selfish thing ever, instead of it... which, yes, it is selfish, but it's also a sign of being so into someone that you literally want to absorb them. And that's the thing, is this whole chapter is her being like, he uses sex as a weapon, and he doesn't really care about me the way I care about him. Yet every single word, literally every single word out of his mouth in this entire chapter is about how much he cares about her, and how he can't stop thinking about her, and how he would literally die a happy man if he could figure out a way to chop her up and snort her and have her inside of his man breasts. So she's stupid. Oh, God. So she sucks on a piece of asparagus to try to turn him on, and then when he gets turned on, she bounces. Not because she's playing coy, but because she's terrified and strange and schizophrenic. See how I tied all that back together? Man, I'm so good at this. I got this webcam shit on lockdown. I don't. I'll eventually get some editing stuff, and it'll all be a lot spiffier eventually. So here is the fine. So she gets home and starts crying her eyes out, just weeping balls. So he sends her an email that says, I don't understand why you ran this evening. I sincerely hope I answered all of your questions to your satisfaction. I know I have given you a great deal to contemplate, and I fervently hope that you will give my proposal your serious consideration. I really want to make this work. We will take it slow. Trust me, Christian Grey. His email makes me weep more. I am not a merger. I am not an acquisition. There's nothing that he's done. The sub-dom thing, she has to understand by now that that's not a merger-acquisition type thing. If she literally, of all the things that he's done and said to her, if she still feels that way, she's insane, because this dude is into her, and if she can't see that, then Christian Grey should do better, like this guy. Reading this, I might as well be. I don't reply. I just don't know what to say to him. I fumble into my PJs, and wrapping his jacket around me, I climb into bed. As I lie staring into the darkness, I think of all the times he warned me to stay away. Anastasia, you should steer clear of me. I'm not the man for you. I don't do the girlfriend thing. I'm not a hearts and flowers kind of guy. I don't make love. This is all I know. And as I weep into my... As I weep into my pillow silently, it's this last idea I cling to. This is all I know, too. Wait, this is all I know, too. Perhaps together, we can chart a new course. That was me jerking off and spraying at my own face. My hand was down here, so you couldn't see that. Well, that was the halfway point. chapter-wise, not page-wise. We're not quite there page-wise. We are on page 185 of 385. Oh, so we have crossed the boundaries. No, we haven't. We're close. We're getting there. Adding is hard. So, yeah, thank you guys once again for watching this. I'm glad we're at the halfway point. This book sucks. Love you. Did I do it? It didn't turn off. It didn't turn off!